The sky bled red, mirroring the horror within the stately manor. A shiver, colder than the approaching Cape winter, ran down Constable Bengu's spine. The victim, Mr. van der Merwe, lay sprawled on the Persian rug. His eyes stared vacantly, forever robbed of their sparkle. The air hung heavy with the scent of lilies and something metallic. Blood. A single shard of glass glinted amidst the debris of a shattered vase. It was the only sign of struggle in the otherwise immaculate room. "Robbery gone wrong?" Constable Bengu murmured, more to himself than his partner. "Perhaps," Sergeant Kumalo replied, his voice tight. "But something doesn't feel right." "Where's the missing jewel, then?" The famed eye of Stellenbosch, a ruby the size of a pigeon's egg, was gone. Vanished, and with it, a piece of the town's history. Detective Naidu arrived as the last rays of sun dipped below the horizon. He was a man of sharp contrasts, a gentle giant with a mind as keen as a hawk's talon. His eyes, dark and insightful, scanned the scene, absorbing every detail. "Tell me everything," he instructed, his voice a low rumble. The constables recounted the details, the forced entry, the apparent struggle, the missing ruby. Naidu knelt beside the body, his gaze lingering on the shattered vase. "And this?" he asked, picking up a tiny white petal. "Lilies," Constable Bengu offered. "They were in the vase." "Lilies," Naidu echoed, a thoughtful frown creasing his brow. This was just the beginning. He could feel it in his bones. The household staff, gathered in the drawing room, buzzed with anxiety. Naidu observed them, his eyes missing nothing. There was Marietchi, the maid, her face pale and drawn. Old Peter, the gardener, wrung his calloused hands, his weathered face etched with worry. "Did Mr. van der Merwe have any enemies?" Naidu asked, his voice calm despite the tension in the room. "Enemies?" Marietchi gasped, clutching her apron. "The master was a kind man." Peter remained silent, his eyes downcast. But Naidu noticed the flicker of something unreadable in their depths. Fear? Guilt? The investigation continued, each interview revealing snippets of information, yet none leading to the missing ruby. The mystery deepened, casting long shadows over Stellenbosch. Days bled into weeks, the investigation hitting dead end after dead end. The stolen ruby became a local obsession, whispered about in hushed tones. Rumors swirled like dust devils, each more outlandish than the last. Naidu chased each lead, only to find himself back where he started. He visited the antique collector, a shady character known for his interest in precious stones. The man claimed ignorance, but Naidu sensed a hidden truth behind his shifty eyes. Then there was the jealous lover, a fiery artist scorned by van der Merwe's rejection. She had the motive, but her alibi checked out. Frustration gnawed at Naidu. Where was the missing piece of the puzzle? The antique collector's shop was a treasure trove of forgotten things, each object whispering tales of the past. Naidu, unconvinced by the man's earlier denial, decided to pay him another visit. He found the collector hunched over a dusty tome, his one good eye magnified by a jeweler's loupe. "Back so soon, detective?" the collector rasped, not bothering to look up. "Just tying up loose ends," Naidu replied, his gaze sweeping over the cluttered shelves. He noticed a faint, sweet aroma in the air, lilies, the same scent he'd encountered at the crime scene. Naidu's eyes narrowed. This was no coincidence. The collector, with his knowledge of valuables and access to a network of buyers, was fast becoming the prime suspect. Driven by a hunch, Naidu paid a visit to the scorned artist. He found her in her studio, a riot of color and canvas, her fiery hair mirroring her passionate nature. She looked up, startled, as he entered. "Detective Naidu? What brings you here?" she asked, her voice wary. "I have reason to believe you know more than you're letting on," Naidu stated, his gaze fixed on hers. He pointedly looked at a vase on a nearby table, filled with wilting lilies. The artist's composure faltered. "Those flowers? They were a gift. From him." Naidu pressed on, his intuition screaming at him. Was she truly involved, or was she another pawn in a much larger game? Sleep became a luxury Naidu could ill afford. He sat at his desk, the case files spread out before him like a map of a labyrinth. His mind raced, connecting the dots, searching for the missing link. The antique collector, the jealous lover, the gardener, the maid. Each played their part in the drama unfolding before him, but something wasn't adding up. The pieces didn't fit. Then, as the clock on the wall chimed midnight, it struck him. The lilies, the scent, the petal at the crime scene. It wasn't a random detail, it was a clue pointing him in the right direction. The first rays of dawn painted the sky in hues of gold and purple as Naidu stood outside Peter's cottage. He had pieced together the puzzle. the seemingly insignificant detail about the lilies revealing the truth. He knocked, and the door creaked open to reveal a surprised Peter. "Detective? What brings you here at this hour?" "The Eye of Stellenbosch." "Peter," Naidu said, his voice quiet but firm. "Where is it?" Peter's face blanched. He stepped aside, revealing a loose floorboard. Beneath it, nestled amongst a bed of wilting lilies, lay the ruby. Peter confessed, his voice heavy with regret. He hadn't intended to kill Van der Merwe. He'd only wanted to return the ruby, a family heirloom stolen generations ago by Van der Merwe's grandfather. The antique collector, a childhood friend of Peter's, had helped him devise the plan, hoping to profit from the ruby's recovery. The artist, a pawn in their game, had been used to throw Naidu off their scent. As the sun rose higher, bathing Stellenbosch in its warm light, justice prevailed. The ruby, a symbol of greed and betrayal, was returned. And Detective Naidu, his sharp mind unraveling the tangled threads of the past, proved once again that no secret, however dark, could remain buried forever.